I'm so excited to be a part of just this awesome organization. I love our country. I'm so proud to be an American. So I'm so grateful for men and women who serve our country, and I can't thank you enough for having the opportunity to be up here to live the American dream as a business owner, and I just am so grateful for that. So I just wanted to start out introducing you to me. I grew up doing horseback riding and different things. I graduated in accounting. Then I decided that I just wanted to raise my babies. So I stayed home with my kids. And then as soon as my baby boy went to kindergarten, I was like, I am bored out of my stinking mind. So I was like, give me something to do. My friends are like, why don't you just clean some more? Like, it's fun, just do nothing. You don't need to go back to work. And I was like, I'm gonna lose my marbles. So I was able to purchase an accounting business that year. And it was so awesome. And I was so excited. And I went through some ups and downs and some different things. And so as I was planning this talk, I was like, curious what my kids thought my successes were. You know, it's easy to find, I was like, I need to talk about my successes, and then I need to talk about maybe some failures and how I was resilient and overcame those. And it was so easy to find the failures, you know, and I felt like I knew the successes, but I thought it would be interesting to hear my kids' successes. So I said, at the dinner table just the other night, I said, what do you think Mom's successes were when I opened my business? And my son said, I don't know if it's like a success, but I have a really good story. And I was like, okay, tell me. And he was like, remember when you had your office over by the park and Blakely was being so mean to me? And he was 5 at this time. She was being so mean to me that I just left and I rode my bike to your office. And granted, we do live in a small, tiny, safe community, but he rode several country blocks and showed up in my tax appointment. And I was like, hey, buddy. Yeah, that's my son. Yeah, he rode his bike here. He's 5. So that was a fail moment for a mom, but it was fine. You know, we worked through it. Then my daughter said, Mom, we think you're so awesome. Me and my friend, you're our hero because you said you're 43 years old and you still don't know what you want to be when you grow up. And so we think that's awesome that you're up here pursuing different things that you want to do, being on She Talks and on TED Talk and writing a book with Rhonda. And she's like, we think that's awesome. You're our hero and we want to always do crazy things, because everyone else's mom is like, I don't want to do anything anymore. And I was like, okay, maybe I'm doing something right. They're noticing. Then my other daughter said, I remember when you taught dance so that I could take dance. And I was like, oh, this is my teenage daughter who's 19 that doesn't always like me. So I was like, oh, that's so sweet. And I was like, huh. It had nothing to do with business. It had nothing to do with my business, but the things that I was willing to sacrifice for her. Because at the time, we weren't able to afford those dance lessons because I was staying home as a stay-at-home mom, and it's a little rough sometimes. But I was like, I can sure go teach some dance. You bet, I'll be a dance teacher, sure. So she thought that was awesome. And I appreciated knowing that, because sometimes as moms, we need some validation that what we're doing is right? That we're doing something right in all this craziness. And then I asked my husband, and he's not much of a talker as far as saying nice things. Sometimes he's not very good at that. And he was like, I think my favorite part was when you bought your business. And I was like, okay. And he's like, my next very favorite part was when you sold your tax business. And I was like, rude, why is that? And he said, then I didn't have to listen to you cry in the kitchen anymore. And I was like, huh. I remember breaking down a couple times. Tax season is a little stressful, and it is just way crazy hours. And I remember breaking down a couple times, but I said, explain to me more, because I think I've blocked that out. And he said, I remember that you came home from for dinner, so you had all your appointments all day, and you came home for dinner to eat dinner with us, and you just sobbed. And we're like, I can't go back. I don't want to go back tonight. I'm so freaking tired. I'm from Utah, that's our slang. I'm so stinking tired and I can't do it anymore. And he said, I don't know why you went back, and you would stay like all night. And granted, we had a building next to the bar, so maybe it wasn't a good idea to stay till 2 a.m. Maybe not. just by myself. And so I said, because I had to. I had appointments all stinking day long. And there was a mountain of work to be done. If I didn't stay up, it wouldn't get done. I had to go back. And it broke my heart. So I was like, that's interesting. And I remember that. And at that time, I suffered through several years of doing that. And then after a while, I just said, this is not worth it anymore. And I said, why have I accomplished all of the things I've ever wanted to accomplish financially, and I feel no different? If anything, I felt worse. I was like, wait, society has told me that if I just hit this next big number, I'm gonna be so much happier. If I just get the next bigger house and have multiple bedrooms and a movie room, then I'm gonna be happier. And I wasn't. I was actually defeated. I was like, what? I was gonna be different. I was gonna be rocking it if I could make this much money. And I felt no different. And so I took a look at my life, and my life is scheduled into my calendar. And I loved in Kameen's book, she said, your calendar is the canvas of your life. And I was like, whoa, I hate what I'm painting. It's only one color. And what was that one color? It was work. And so I began to strategically look at my life and say, what is most important to me? And it wasn't work. I loved my clients. I loved making money. I do love to play hard. My girls are here. We love to travel. And you gotta have money to do that, right? But so I loved that, but I was missing my faith and my family and my husband and just being home and being chill and relaxing. So every week I started strategically planning those things in first, and that left a lot smaller chunk for work. And I was like, oh boy, this is gonna be rough. And my work is dependent on if I do tax appointments. So my finances took a serious hit. It wasn't like sunshine and rainbows overnight, but I just realized I need to take back and decide what's important to me. So I sold that tax business, I sold another part of the business, and I designed my business in a way that would work with the kind of mom that I wanted to be. I stopped scheduling appointments after 3 o'clock. I made sure I picked up my kids from school. And in doing that, I became a better business owner. I started being more intuitive about what things needed to be done. I started hiring, I started delegating, I started actually letting people help me. And it was hard, but I will tell you for sure that it's the best decision I've ever made in my business, and now I make more and I work way less. And I'm able to give back and do things that make an impact. And I know that's what we all want to make. And so I just want to leave with you that the two things that I learned was you have to manage your time or it will manage you. Your clients are always going to come first if you don't put yourself first. And number two, you have to manage your mindset. Wealth has nothing to do with the amount of money that you make, but the way that you feel and think about things. And so I just leave that with you, and hope that you can take back your time too.